This is the last stop on the 6 train. This is Pelham Bay Park. As you can see in the background is Co-op City. See right here. Just get a little close up. It's Pelham Bay Park station. So this is the last stop on the 6 train. And so we're gonna walk to the park right now. So you walk right across the street and you have the park. It's the biggest park in New York City. See right there, Orchard Beach, City Island, and now 95 North, which goes to Connecticut. A lot of people don't know about City Island. Do another video for that. I'm just gonna jump over this. Here we are. So about 2 weeks ago, they had all the leaves coming down for fall. It's quite beautiful. And in the summertime, a lot of people are barbecuing out here. This is one of the original walkways. As you can see, it's kind of pretty bad shape. Cut over this way. So I don't know in Central Park if they have the same thing with the barbecues, where you can just come and pour charcoal and start a barbecue up. So this park has a lot of history. A lot of different things happen here over the years. This was a Native American settlement many, many years ago. I heard somewhere there was also a burial ground. It's a little spooky. And right over there is the, as you can see, that tower, that giant right there. That's the World War I memorial. We'll walk by that in a little bit. But yeah, this is just a vast park. A lot of wild, a lot of bush, a lot of wilderness. If you go down that pathway, you'll see the area where people like to walk around. It's like a track, football field, a couple of baseball fields, outdoor gym. So this part right here, you can see the kind of trees that grow really close together. This is kind of a famous shot of Pelham Bay, just because of the uniqueness of the way the trees grow. Get a close look. A little spooky, like I said. And there's a path that you can take to walk deep into the woods. It eventually leads out to the water, which I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So you can see the path right there. And we're not going to go deep into it, but I'll take a quick look. As you can see, that's a path. Goes pretty deep in. Eventually leads out to the waterfront. You can see right there, that's the Bronx Victory Memorial, I believe it's called. We're gonna walk around on the other side. And there's not a lot of people here. Usually there's some joggers in the morning. As you can see, this is another one of these 1980s pathways that have not been fixed up. Now, interestingly, they do have a police station in the park, which is kind of hidden. That's behind me. That's why you just saw an NYPD truck pass by. And beyond, in the distance, you might be able to see some high rises. That's Co-op City. Way back there. So Co-op City is a high-rise development built on marshland way back in the day. I think it was put up in the 50s. And before it was Co-op City, it was an amusement park. And it was called Freedom Land. So it was like Disneyland. It was, I don't remember what year that was. You find that online. But it was Freedom Land. And so they tore that down. They had a couple amusement parks turn of the century. They had Palisades Park, which is in New Jersey, and they had Freedom Land. They had Coney Island, which still exists. But it was mainly a Jewish American neighborhood from the 60s and 70s, I believe. Transitioned and had some crime problems in the 80s and 90s. A lot of people moved out. And not sure what's going on, the current trend, but still a rough area. Now this is the interesting part right here. This is the landfill. We're gonna walk into that. Not into it, but we're gonna walk past it. As you can see, that's 95. Goes up to Massachusetts. And now we're going to walk into the landfill section. So back in the 60s, this was a garbage dump. And you could probably find some pictures on Google of what it looked like. But they had a lot of garbage trucks. They had a lot of bulldozers. And yeah, it was just landfill. And so they have a lot of fences, barbed wire up here. They don't want people climbing into it for whatever reason. But pretty thick brush. You know, again, the waterfront is very close to here, and see if we could get close to it. I wasn't planning on going by the waterfront, but it's kind of cool to show you guys how close we are to Long Island Sound. So it just looks like this huge hill. It looks like something you would see in more of a rural state. Not the Bronx, because technically we are in the Bronx. This is, believe it or not, people think of the Bronx as just a bunch of decrepit 6-story walk-ups, but it's a huge, vast area. I mean, you can see the reeds. It's kind of like marshland. And as you can see right here, this is the landfill, which used to be the dump. Loaded all garbage under there. So I don't know how good that is for the environment, but yeah, so I think there's a fence up, so I won't be able to go past that point. Let's see. Yeah, they have a fence up, but as you can see, pretty much once you go past that fence, you see the ocean, and it's the Long Island Sound. It's pretty cool, actually. You can get in there. I've been there many times. You got to walk around through the woods. You got to go into these woods, which is pretty creepy. And you walk right up to the waterfront. And that's the waterfront down that way. Not really the best view. Here's more of the landfill. See all that barbed wire? Would not want to climb over that. It's just this huge hill. I don't really know what any of this stuff does. We're gonna come back out into the park. So, as you can imagine, being in the Bronx, you know, there's been some events that have occurred over here in the news. And they used to have criminal organizations and, you know, crack cocaine back in the 80s was big. And a lot of the victims would end up here in the park. They would dump the bodies. A lot of stories on Google about that if you type in Pelham Bay Park. Also Orchard Beach, which is further down the road. Kind of a creepy fact. But yeah, a lot of famous stories about stuff like that. Think about it, we're in the Bronx, one of the roughest parts of New York City. And, you know, huge park, so do the math. So as you can see, there's not so many people. I'm back out on the main road. And so this road, going the direction the cars are coming towards me, leads out to Orchard Beach and City Island and Westchester County, which is lower Westchester, which New Rochelle, Pelham Manor. Some of those areas are very wealthy, exclusive. So now we're coming up to the Bronx Memorial, which is pretty cool. Really like the view right here. You see how nice that is? You've got all these trees right in the middle of the parkway. So this thing was put up in like 1933, for way back in the day. So we'll walk up to that, closer look. Let's see. So this is called the Bronx Victory Memorial Column. The sign's kind of faded. You can see. So yeah, it was put up in 1933, designed by John Sheridan, who died in 1954. I'll walk up to it. It's a really nice park. I used to see this a lot growing up. Never really paid much attention to it. So the ground is slate. Slate, pretty expensive material to walk on nowadays. These are pretty cool. These are like victory cups, some faces carved on the side of them. A lot of symbology. New York seal. A little bit closer so you can see the World War I veterans. They got them carved in on the side. And then somebody put these wreaths up for Memorial Veterans Day. And it just says that a grateful city erected this shaft to the glorious memory of its Bronx County sons who gave their lives for their country and the world. World War I. And we'll do, as you can see, on top there's an angel on top of the pillar. Oh, 1932, my mistake. John Sheridan. That's pretty cool up there. You can see the angel, which is painted gold. I think what it really means is that World War I was fought for a righteous purpose, and the pillars upholding, I suppose you could say, the morality of the country. And that's why you've got this pillar, and then you got the soldiers at the bottom, the cups of victory, and so I believe Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York, had attended a ceremony here that was for the renovation, because it kind of was dilapidated over the years. You know, this whole park was kind of falling apart. You know, because most of the money goes into Central Park, which is where the money is. Right smack in the center of Manhattan. So this park is kind of forgotten New York. Which is a cool website, by the way. Been around since like 2001. They have a lot of these sites that a lot of people don't know about. And as you can see up ahead, that's Pelham Bay Park Station, which is roughly, if you come from Grand Central 42nd, that's going to take you about an hour or so. Actually, a little bit less, about 45 minutes. So we got a little bit of time left.